Hello everyone, Pierce Nation here. Welcome back to a new deck profile. But before we get started, I will run you through everything and why I'm deciding to put out the deck profile now and not later. Because I played with this deck a lot recently. Went 20-2 with Altergeist. It is not a misrepresentation. I have went 20-2. The only two losses I have bricked. Like, absolutely bricked. The build now is different than it was then. So the one that I've made before said you only need 2 spoofing, blah blah blah. It would help the combo better, you know. Yeah, no, not the case. I actually upped spoofing back to 3. Good results. I cut Kunk because Kunk's a brick, and he's only good if you're already losing. So we cut cards like that and give it more power with the build and the way it is, and the side deck actually gives it more power, and you'll see once we start going over it. But the matchups have been like Pirelli, Cash, Manadium, Unchained, and just blowing through the gates with this deck because this deck just doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. The only way that this deck does not perform is if you do not pull the pieces you need, because your cards literally cannot be negated. So if Altergeist got another card, a 3 of that special 1 from deck, tributes for cost, this deck would be the best deck because you literally cannot stop it. No matter what you do, there's not a card in the game that stops this deck. It will not work. Simply because of protocol. You can Forbidden Droplet and protocol would still keep your stuff live, which is really insane to say. So Altergeist is super good. We'll go over the main deck, side deck, extra deck. We'll not be doing combos. We'll make this real quick, real simple. If you have any questions on anything, leave them in the comments down below. Again, we will not be doing combos for this video. We'll be going through it really fast, really professional. So this is coming from a very professional player and a very professional mind. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get on with the deck profile, letting you know this is really powerful. If you do not have the build, you need to get this build. This build is awesome. So without further ado, let's get on with it. So here we are. This is the Altergeist deck profile. As you can see, it's got a massive D shifter on the front of it. I'm not going to give away any cards on my side until we get to them. But just to let you know that we are prepared for a lot of stuff. This deck is awesome. And it is rocking. Everything has been adjusted. Extra deck, main deck, and side deck. So without further ado, let's get on with it. So first of all, you play through copies of Altergeist Marionette, best normal summon. Arguably. Set the trap directly from deck, super good, send itself for cost, a special another. Next is a Multi-Faker. Multi-Faker, best card in the deck. This is one of the Trouble Twins. Trap card is activated, you're supposed to summon this card, you're supposed to summon 1 from deck. Once you do that, you're locked in Altergeist. We're doing this fast. 3 Meluseek. Meluseek is the best normal summon in the deck. Punches directly, target sends a card, and then if this card is sent from Filthy Grave, then add any Altergeist from deck to hand. And you can use Link Karibo, link that off, because we actually do not have an Altergeist link 1, which is sad. But further ado, we'll play 3 Pook. Best card to pull was Seek, because you can go straight Hexia, and you can actually go straight to an Aminia Climb with just those 3 cards. So pretty OP to open this card. So play 3 Pook, can link summon from hand, and once per duel it can add itself back to hand. Awesome. You play 2 copies of Altergeist Maulwesp. This is the new Altergeist, and the only new Altergeist play in the main deck. Maulwesp, if it's added to hand by any means necessary, except by drawing it, you can spell summon this card from hand, it will trigger. The card that, well, when it's normally supposed to summon, it'll special 1 back from graveyard in defense position, but it cannot activate its effects this turn. Normally you want to grab Seek with that way you can protocol something. Depends on how your game state's lined up. Really good card. It's also a tuner, so you can make the secret, which we do play. Play 2 Sequitos. This is the other Trouble Twin that you use for Faker. You only do it on your opponent's turn unless if you just need it on your turn. Play 2 of this, not 1. I've seen builds playing 1, which is stupid. Card set from Filthy Grave, you can add target an Altergeist, strap and add it back to hand, which they out protocol, that's how you do it. And if you can't get to protocol by any other way, or you've already burnt through the 2. So hand traps, play double ash. You don't need to see any more than this. Pretty simple. And then you play 1 nib. You gotta out this card, have to. If you get rolling and you out this card, you got game instantly. I'll tell you that right now. I'm sure people are gonna be curious on the combos in this. 3 Pot of Prosperity, best card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, you gotta play this card. You have got to play Prosperity. You win every game. Next of all, you've probably seen it from my hand. 3 Cross Out Designator. You only lose to a handful of cards, like evenly, Imperm or Nib. Especially with this deck Nib, like they try to like Imperm Marionetter. I will cross it out and cross out the Imperm. Because if I had to get Protocol or Haunted Rock set, I have to get it going, and if you have Nib at that point, I don't really care. So you got to play through cross out. This is how you out literally everything that hurts this deck. And also, speaking of cards that hurt this deck, we play 2 Triple Tactic Talent. So Triple Tactic Talents is great. Cross it out, whatever. Just depends on like what comes first, in my opinion. And if they're using monster effects on your turn to try to stay with Geist, you can start ripping or taking stuff, which is super nice. So.
I'm excited for you to see this again.
Tactics is necessary, unfortunately. Trap cards, we play 2 Altergeist Protocol, best card in the deck. Says my Altergeist effects and activations on field can't be negated, period. When your opponent activates a monster effect similar to Altergeist, negate and destroy. That is once per turn. Once per copy too. Or it's not once per copy. A hard once per copy. So let me rephrase this. Hard once per turn. Jesus Christ. I don't want to give out false information. The Monster Reborn is Manifestation. You target an Altergeist, special summon it, equip this card to it, but you have to summon it in attack mode. And when this card leaves the field, that monster leaves the field. Unless if you can still Quiddos, bounce this back to hand, the Quiddos will stay. This is funny. It will. 1 Altergeist Haunted Rock. This is a combo piece now, so you can use it for combo piece, or if they try to evenly you and you got plenty of resources in the hand, which you will once you go into turn, this card will win your game. It is a trap negate, and not many people know that we have those. 3-person spoofing, like I told you, I was wrong. I thought you could play the new cards without it. I tested it with 2, and it worked fine. But when it comes to grindy games, you have to have 3-person spoofing in order to get things started. So, or you can break hardcore with this deck. So, you need 3-person spoofing, period. Remember, it shuffles back any Altergeist card. New format, so we're playing strikes instead of judgments now. Obviously, gotta play the good card. So, plus you're only paying 15 instead of half, so this card's kind of nice. You can stop those type of effects. It's cool. The 3 strike is correct, and the last card in the main is Imperm. So, really good card. Gotta play Imperms. That's a 1-card factor on your opponent's turn. So. Not much more I need to say there. We will get to the extra deck. We'll start back to front, and I will explain everything. So with the first cards, we'll start with the Link 1s to Link. Well, we'll start with the non-engine Altergeist stuff. Okay. Play Lingeribo. Obviously, we have a sort of a lock we can do. We are playing the Ibli lock in the side. So we main deck the Lingeribo. You say, well, I don't understand why you would main deck it, or why you would main it in your extra deck. Well, I don't have any room in the side. I will tell you this right now. Second of all, this is a good crossbreed target because I normally have one flex spot, so it's now Lingaribo, and it's whenever I do the Ibly thing to Lingaribo, I now have a trap negate which stops evenly, which is kind of nice. So I play Lingaribo, which is obviously why you play it. Relinquished Anima, IP Masquerena, Nightmare Unicorn, and Access Kotak. These are all my non-engine link monsters. All the rest of the extra deck slots, which are right here, are Altergeist. One way, shape, or form. So these are all your non-engines. These are all the cards that you play. And if you're not playing these, you probably should be playing them. Or, you know, I've seen some people play like Dark, the new format, but like, if I make something, it's gonna be IP, because IP can turn into more. Just depends on what I have and what I decide to go into. So, yeah, IP is kind of nice. Again, it just depends on like what you go into. It doesn't really matter to me. So engine wise for the Altergeist, of course we're playing the Synchro monster. Dragviren. Dragviren's got some neat effects. It's basically like Conk. It can return an Altergeist and negate an attack, which is kind of nice. Also, if the card's tributed, it just special summons back for no fucking reason. So that's kind of nice. We played 3 copies of Altergeist Hextia, best card in the extra deck. My personal opinion, it gains a stupid amount of attack for a dumb reason. Play double Prime. Prime's good now. I was using it before, but it's even better now. They're Prime, both of the effects. The target one add back when sent from field, and the tribute Altergeist monster special 1 to a zone it points to. That's even better, more stupider. So good effect, and then you play 1 Memorgant, and you play 2 Altergeist Adminias. We are ordering the quarter century secret rares for this. So, yeah, this is the extra deck, exactly what you play. These are the exact proportions of things that you should be playing. You shouldn't be playing any more than what's here. If you're playing 3 of this, stop it. You're playing 2 of this, stop it. You're playing 3 or 1 of this, play 2, and you should play 3. Like, come on, and you have to play this card. You have to. It's so easy. Memorgant makes it too easy. And so does freaking Prime. Prime just tributed, special 1, effect, specials back. Like, come on. You've got to play these cards in these proportions. Have to. If you want to win, do what I'm telling you to do. I'm telling you right now. Learn how to pilot this thing for one. That's one thing I cannot get through players' heads, is learn how to pilot your freaking decks. Okay, so side deck. 3 Rivalry. Of course, best card in our side deck is Rivalry. It's the best floodgate that we do play. It's massive. If I get this off against Branded, it's over. Like game 2, because they have the Guardian Chimera to try to out this, and they can't summon anything in order to get to it. So 3 anti-spell. Again, Branded suffers. Branded suffers, Cashier suffers, Pirelli suffers. There's a lot of decks like Runic, Sprite. I'm trying to think of decks off the top of my head. Salad, Math Mech. Just like any deck in general, besides Unchained. Besides Unchained, if I play Unchained, I'm not siding these in. It's stupid. Not unless if they're playing like a big DDD package. They're just splashing like bits and pieces here and there. I'm not siding that. Double Evenly. Evenly's super good. You side one in for cross out. Especially if you're gonna go first, because like they're gonna try to do it. I don't care about the Dark Ruler. 3 Judgment, that's why we don't care about the Dark Ruler, because we can out the Dark Ruler, so it doesn't matter. So there's the Iblis. So you play 3 Iblis. 3 of them. Because if you get the opportunity to do it, you've got to see it. And then D-Shifter. So the main cards that I have cited, like D-Shifter, Iblis, Evenly, not really Iblis, but these are cards that I can't out, and I need to be able to out them. So I need to out this, and I got to out this. If I don't out this, I'll lose. I've outed this every time I played Cash. I've had cross out every time they've D-shifted. Because they always make me go first. Because they try to break my board. I don't know why. Stupid. I want to go first. But they go D-shifter and I cross it out. Like, I think there's only one time I have it and I played right through it. Because I just made Hexia, sat one, and I had like multi-faker. And my set was protocol. So I think I just played right through it. Because I don't really have to do much. It kind of hurts my graveyard, but like if I have Hexia and it's still on field when we go in phase, I can kill you. Super good. So speaking of which, we're gonna talk. So let me go ahead and get these like up and out, because I want to start going over the side deck cards one by one and kind of explain them to you. So we've went over D-shifter, so now we're gonna talk about Iblis. I've got them down here. Doesn't matter. This looks better. So Iblis, the reason that I've decided to play Iblis in the side deck and why I'm playing it in the side deck is not every matchup does this deck hurt that specific deck in general. But what Iblis does do is it makes Altergeist not going first good. It depends on the deck, really. If I play like straight branded and I give them this and they can't out it, because I have great trap game, they're gonna lose to this card. Now, if I'm playing other decks that are playing other resources to out things like Vanadium, Nashtira, and all these other good decks, like if you give Cash this, they're gonna have a hard time. Which is kind of why it's here, just as a weapon. If I have to just normal this, link it off, that's gonna be a rough time. Because I can special it to my opponent's field, which is fine. Yes, you cannot faker the turn you do that either. If you're ever thinking about doing that, if you're trying to do that, it does not work. You special this to their field. You special summon a monster that's not an Altergeist. You can't factor into those conditions. So, Iblis is cool because if you go to grind game and you've done your geist combo first, what you can do is you can normal this card. You can activate effect, grab like Hexy Engrave, it has to point to it by the way, and then you can make Uniform, and then you can give this to your opponent, and then with Hexia you can start doing your Geist combo. So what you can do is, if it depends on how many Altergeists you have, you should be started if you've gotten to Hexia or even past that, is you should be able to grab Maul Wisp and do the Maul Wisp effect, special one back, go link 2, make another Hexia, and proceed from there. So you should be able to practically kill with Iblis. Iblis is a great extender. Now, note that the card that it does bring back, the Link monster it brings back, is negated, but it doesn't matter. Because Iblis does so much for the deck that it's ridiculous. I didn't realize that when I was first reading Iblis. I was like, it brings back any Link monster for no reason at all. You have to try to stop this. If you don't, a unicorn will start spinning. It's crazy. Because you don't get locked into Altergeist until you do Faker. Faker is what locks you. The only card that locks you. And if you've done all of your main Geist plays and you've got a graveyard full of resources, you Iblis and you get started right back again. This card literally will start you right back again. It's stupid. So I've decided to play it because it's super good, and most Pirelli decks, besides I believe like 2 decks, are not playing Link monster, which would help you out Iblis. You would think. Well, if you do this and they pull a handful of spells, because they only play 6 monsters, they're kind of screwed because they can't get through this. They would have to destroy it or get rid of it in one way, shape, or form, which they personally can't do. So Ibley is super good for the deck. Does a lot. And like I said, once you go unicorn, you special list to their field, you go full geist combo, and now they can't nib you, which is kind of funny. It doesn't matter if you get nibbed or not. I just tell you this right now. You can play through nib like nothing. All you need is traps and faker. That's it. So Ibley kind of good. I just want to go ahead and explain that one because I figure that people are going to be really confused. D-shifter is an obvious cross out target. I'll explain it a little bit more in detail, like why I even have this card. Ooh, it's a godsend to play in this deck. I mean, not really. If you go first and your opponent has graveyard reliant decks, 5%. If you see it, great. If you don't, whatever. Against Cass, Exorcister, what's the other one? Cash, Exorcister. I believe Vanquish plays this card a little bit. I believe. It really doesn't matter who sides this card in and for what reason. Just cross this out. Like that's the main reason for it. It's just a cross out target. But if you face like other decks and you go first and I do normal Marionetter instead of trap, you get Faker in hand, send the sucker. Because the turn that you start doing stuff, it'll be back live because you really won't send any monsters. Or here's option 2. If when you send this card, if your opponent goes first and you have this card, you send this card right away. Because they will have to do something. If not, they die. Because all you gotta do is normal summon Marionetter, set a bunch of traps, and shifters over. That's it. Like that's literally all this takes. It's just an annoyance. Just annoying. You don't want to see this card a whole lot. Because your deck cannot play through this. That's why it's at 1. So next of all is Judgment. So Judgment could have been a lot of other cards like Summon Limit, Hero Iron Wall, yada yada yada. We really don't banish many cards. Sometimes we do because sometimes, you know, we've got things that we gotta do. But Hero Iron Wall is not going to stop Cash, or it will stop Cash, but it will not stop Unchained. Obviously I know this. You're making a bunch of outs for cards that really don't matter at all. So this card's just, it negates summons, it negates spells or traps, the activation. So you honestly got to play this card. I hate playing it because I have to pay half my life points, but the card's kind of good, not gonna lie. So you kind of have to play it, and there's not really much you can or can't say about this card because this card's been good since the beginning of Yu-Gi-Oh, and it proceeds to do exactly that, be one of the best cards in the game. So there's not really much to say on Solemn Judgment at all. Evenly matched. So I like the card and I hate it at the same time, because the reason I like it is if I control nothing and you are beating me in battle phase and I evenly you, I get you down to 1 card, doesn't matter what it is, I can trigger multi-faker. It's nice. Not gonna lie. We play 2 of this because if I have to go second, I have to be able to break your board in one way, shape, or form. Second of all, this triggers faker. Super nice. Okay, so that's why we're playing it at 2. Card's not necessarily used at 3 because most of the time when I have to side this card in, they're making me go first again and trying to get me with this card. So, and they can't do that with the current build I have because, well, I've crossed out. Unless if you're having the main cross out, you can't beat me because you have to cross out the cross out. That's just plain and simple. That's how it is. I can fly out of here. So So yeah, like this card, I conflict with it, but super good. So I still have it at 2. I don't play it at 3 because I don't have the space for it. So it's not necessarily the most important card because we're going first anyway. Trying to win die rolls. And then we know we got the anti-spell. Love this card. I love it. Anytime I flip this on Sword Soul, Cash, Borelli, Runic, you name it, card comes up. Super good. I hardly play any spells. I play 8 of them. If I'm not Prosperity, I don't care, for real. And if I don't Tactics, I don't really care. Cross out, I can set that sucker. I'm never gonna flip anti-spell and then like not have protocol for the cross out, so. And not have the not have protocol for whatever removal. Like also like I physically have to have like protocol and cross out, so it is what it is. Card's super good. Every guy's build should be playing this. You either play this or you play Secret Village Spellcasters. I used to play both, and that's not the correct answer. So. You play one or the other. What you have to do, fortunately. You can cry about it in the comments down below. Best card we got. Rivalry of the Warlords. So this is a card that doesn't conflict with us whatsoever. It only conflicts if you're trying to go for the latter half of the extra deck. From which, if you're trying to do this, it's a really bad idea in my personal opinion. So I would not do that. Yeah, you don't want to try to go for some of the stuff with rivalry up. You want to stick to mainly your spellcasters. So like, if you make Anima, you're fine. That's why we play Anima, because it can, you know, be used as a spellcaster. It's the only other spellcaster we got, because these two are both Cyberse. So yep, that's exactly why you play the Relinquished Anima, is for this card. If you're gonna play a card like this, you need it to be the most effective as possible. And with all the Altergeist, even the extra deck being the same type, being spellcasters, this deck's really tough to get through. It's very difficult to actually beat this deck, and if you get this card slammed down on you and you're playing something like Branded, you're screwed. Like, because you're already being forced into one type. You play multiples, and now you have to figure out how you're gonna do stuff. Playing a bunch of beasts and fairies and dragons does not help you with this card. So, they would have to main back row hate for this. So anytime you side this in against a deck like Branded or whatever it be, like Vanquish Soul, hit this card every time. You could still wins off of Vanquish Soul just by just dropping Rivalry. It's going to be fight for whoever goes first. Because if they go second, I can definitely judgment there can only be one. Or I can Hex the negate it. It does not matter. But you got to be able to answer those cards, and you got to be able to drop this. You drop this against a good deck, you will kill it. Don't ever side this in against Sword Soul. They're worms. Don't do it. I have not done that ever, but just don't do it. It's stupid. Don't do it. I watched some dude drop it at a YCS the other day, and I was like, well, good job. You just lost the game because you sided in a card that doesn't do nothing. So, yeah, don't play. Know your matchups. Don't drop bad cards in bad situations. Know your matchups. That way you can win games. With that, that is the entire extra deck or side deck. There's not really much more that I can really explain to you all. I mean, the deck's just good overall. There's nothing that I can really say I can persuade you any further. You decide on your own if this is the type of Altergeist deck that you would like to see. Me, I don't have to decide because I'm going to try and play this at Richmond. I've checked everything, and all my leaks show that these are the best Altergeist is going to get for a long time. There are no hidden Altergeist around the corner. So, with that being said, this is probably going to be pretty close to my deck profile that I intend to play at Richmond. Things may change, but I doubt they will. Altergeist is just a really good deck, and I always love playing it. You drop this card against somebody, you're gonna make somebody salty, which I love doing, because Multi-Faker is such a good card. Without further ado, we're done with the deck profile. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I'm Fierce Nation, and we will see you in the next deck profile. Fierce Nation, out.